Hi there, welcome to my channel as told by Amanda. I'm Amanda, how are you? I provide you with tools and resources that you will need in coming to Canada, moving to Canada, your life in Canada, and achieving the Canadian dream. I know I missed Monday and I tried my best to have this uploaded for Tuesday, but it was not possible. And so I'm here on a Wednesday giving you some vital information that you will need in applying for your Canadian student visa. And I gave you a step-by-step guide. You don't want to miss it. Get your pens, get your pencils, get your books, get your tablets out and jot down these information I'm about to share with you. Subscribe if you haven't, share my video with your friends and family, and let's get straight into the video. So the first thing we're going to do is to go to www.cic.gc.ca, and as soon as that comes up, we're going to hit the English button because that's our preferred language unless you speak French. And then we are brought to the home page, which is immigration and citizenship. Everything that you need to know is on this website, and it's provided by the government of Canada. So yeah, so on this home screen, there's a lot of information to note. We have my application, we have visit, we have immigrate, to work, study, and we can see here apply for or extend a study permit. We also can sign in or create an account to apply online if it is that you're doing it online. So because this whole video is about applying for your student visa, we are gonna click on study. This brings us to the page study in Canada as an international student. This is everything that we have on this page. They're all noteworthy. You can take your time and read through each of the sections. We have find out if you need a study permit, get a study permit faster. I think this is new. Let's see, it says if you live in China, India, Morocco, Pakistan, the Philippines, Senegal, or Vietnam, you may be able to get your study permit faster. You can extend your study permit, you can get a study permit, you can work while studying, stay and work in Canada after you graduate. So there's a lot of information on here. I'm also seeing here where you can get scholarships for international students. It doesn't hurt if you should apply. You can try and apply for a scholarship, so that would be good. Here I'm seeing COVID-19, studying in Canada, something quite to note. Also, to find if your school is a designated learning institution, that is a key, and you'll see why soon. So this is everything. So let's get straight to hitting get a study permit. Study permit, about the process, and this is what we have here, all about what is a study permit. This is the cost, 150 Canadian dollars. You need to note this, and this tells you the processing time here. You can find out, and it varies by country, so you would definitely have to plug in the name of your country. You know what, let's try, let's see. So we're gonna scroll down. Let's say we're doing temporary residence studying. Yep. And we are applying from outside of Canada for a study permit. And we're gonna use Jamaica. Let's do Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica, guys. For those who don't know, get processing time. Okay, there we are. So it's 25 weeks currently to apply for a study permit in Jamaica. Let's go back to where we are coming from. So yeah, basically this page is telling you how long you can stay. Can you go back home while studying? Now we're gonna see who can apply. Study permit, who can apply? So on this page, the first thing we have are eligibility requirements. And you can study in Canada if you, the applicant, honor these things that they have here. Prove you have enough money to pay for your tuition fees. Enroll at a designated learning institution. Prove living expenses for yourself and any family members who may come with you to Canada. Return transportation for yourself. You obey the law, have no criminal record, and that type of thing. This part here is new, where you see, due to COVID, if you want to study for 6 months or less, you now need a study permit. Before you didn't, now you do. Now there are some responsibilities here as a student. So while studying in Canada, you must make progress towards completing your program. You must respect any conditions. You must leave Canada when your permit expires, and that type of thing. People who don't need a permit to study in Canada, that's the next subheading. Also, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you will see stuff like work on and off campus. It gives you information on that, but we're going to focus on getting the right documents. So now we're on study permit, getting the right documents that we need to apply for a student visa. You need these documents to apply for a study permit: proof of acceptance, proof of identity, proof of financial support. You may also need a letter of explanation, also a custodian declaration, which is for minors only if it is that you're applying for a study permit for them, and other documents. So in proof of acceptance, you need to have a acceptance letter from a DLI institution. Proof of identity can be a valid passport or travel document. And a proof of financial support is that you must prove that you can support yourself, your family members who come with you while you are in Canada. And you can do this by proof of a Canadian bank account in your name if you've transferred money to Canada. A GIC from a participating Canadian financial institution. Proof of a student or educational loan from a bank. Your bank statements for the past 4 months. Please note, 4 months. A bank draft that can be converted to Canadian dollars. Proof you paid tuition and housing fees. A letter from the person or school giving you money, or a proof of funding paid from within Canada. If you have a scholarship, please note, or are in a Canadian funded educational program. Minimum funds you need to support yourself as a student. So you, the student, you would need to show 10,000 Canadian dollars for living expenses, and it does not include tuition, and this is for the year. If you're bringing a family member, so that first family member is 4,000 Canadian to that 10,000 Canadian. Every additional family member is $3,000 to the above 14,000 Canadian. They even give you an example. If you and 2 family members want to come to a province outside Quebec for a year, you will need 10,000 for you, the student, 4,000 for the first, 3,000 for the second, brings a total of 17,000 Canadian dollars. That's what you would need to show and prove. So down here we have the letter of explanation, and this helps the visa officer to understand you and your goals. You need to state why you want to study in Canada and that you understand your responsibilities as a student. This is a must in your application form. We scroll down all the way to the bottom and we see other documents. You can check the visa office instructions to see what other documents you will need. So now let's see how to apply. Study permit and how to apply. So we need to get our documents ready before we apply for a study permit. We need an acceptance letter, and this letter should be from a DLI, a valid passport, and proof you can support yourself and any family members who may come with you while you're in Canada. Now, there's 2 ways to apply. We can apply online and we can apply on paper. they have listed some pros here of applying online. No courier fees or mail delivery time. We also have here your applications may be processed more quickly. It helps to make your application complete before submitted, amongst other things that we have here. Now it's up to you on which you decide to applying online. I think it limits the documents that you can upload, as opposed to applying on paper, where you can do drop-offs of your extra additional documents to make a stronger case. So before we go here, we need to answer a few questions to get to the next steps of our situation. So where are we applying from? Outside Canada, inside Canada, or at a port of entry? Outside Canada. How do you want to apply? Online, which is highly recommended, and it's up to you, or on paper. I decided to go with on paper because that's how I applied and that's how I know how to explain this situation. So applying on paper from outside of Canada, step 1, get the application package. Step 2, we're going to complete that application and attach our documents. Step 3, pay your application fees. In most cases, your fees will include processing fees for you and anyone you include on your application. You have to pay for your biometrics as well. Third party fees. This is depending on your situation, such as medical exams, police certificates, language testing. In most cases, you should pay a biometrics fee when you pay for your application fees. So let's find out if you need to give your biometrics. Let's do that. So let's find out. Select one. I didn't give a biometrics in the past. Let's go with that. We're going to select the country code that matches our passport, which is Jamaica. What will you apply for? We're looking for a study. Okay, there it goes. Study or work permit. Are you in Canada? No. You need to give your biometrics. Okay, let's say you're applying for a visitor's visa. So you'd have given biometrics in the past, definitely. For a visitor's visa, is it still valid? This means, is it under 10 years? Yes. So you don't need to give a biometrics. But what if it's not under 10 years? You hit no because it's not valid. You now need to select your country code, and we're looking for Jamaica. What are you applying for? Or study permit? Are you in Canada? No. So you need to give biometrics. So now we're back to the immigration and citizenship page, which is the main page. Remember this page where we talk about immigrate, work, study, visit, and my application. So now we're going to go to here, find an application form. So this is where we see find an IRCC application package or form. What are you looking for? So we're looking for an application package. Select a category. It will be immigrate, visit, work, or study. What are you applying for? We want to study in Canada. Select an application package. Our package will be study permit application from outside of Canada. Get the application package. Send anyway. So now we're here. Application to study in Canada, study permits. So as I said earlier, you can apply online. In order to do so, you must have access to a scanner or camera to create electronic copies of your documents to upload and a valid credit card to pay with. Or you can apply on paper like I did. And of course, read the instruction guide. You would download that PDF form and then you would select your country. Now, you can apply online. Of course, in order to apply online, you are instructed, or you're going to be instructed, to create an online ID, which is called a GC key. It's easy to follow, few easy steps. Just follow the prompt and you will be fine. It's basically the same documents that I am going to go through right now. So we're going to select our country, and it's Jamaica, and we're going to get our documents. And this is everything that we will need. All right, so this application package is for applicants in Jamaica. So we have our document checklist, study permit, we have visa office instructions, application for a study permit made outside of Canada, family information form, statutory declaration of common law union. This is if you aren't married, then you would need to have this form. Fill it out and have it signed by the Justice of Peace. All right. Then now we have our custodian declaration. We have visa application, photograph specifications, and then we have the use of a representative here. I will further explain what this is. Now everyone must fill out and sign their own forms, including those traveling as a family. So what this means, if you are a student and you're applying for your daughter, your son, your husband to come with you, every single family member should fill out their own form from this list here, whether it be a temporary resident visa for them and your study permit for you. Okay, so we're gonna start with the first one on the list, which is the document checklist. And please be aware that most of the files will come up showing this, nothing. Please don't be alarmed, it's fine. Their files are encrypted. All we have to do is hit the download button. We're gonna change where we wanna store it from desktop to documents. And let's rename our file to document checklist. We're gonna hit the save button and we're gonna wait for that to download. Let's open it in our Finder, and naturally you're gonna right click and hit open with Adobe Reader. Whatever you have as your PDF reader on your device, that's fine. And now we wait for it to open. Okay, so for your document checklist, basically this tells you everything that you need to have. It has checkboxes to ensure that you have them. Application for study permit, your family information form, your statutory declaration of common law union. So this means if you're not married, as I said, you need that. Use of a representative. Remember I mentioned this earlier. It says complete this form only if you're using the services of an authorized representative or if you're appointing or canceling a representative. Oftentimes you don't need that, neither do you need this. Custodian declaration. This is for minors who plan to study in Canada and needs a study permit. So now we have our documents list. Fee payment is a must. A photocopy of the information page of your passport, and this includes the first page of your passport that has your photo, your name, your date of birth, and things like that. 2 photos meeting the requirements of the specifications. Your letter of acceptance. A proof of financial support while you're there. A photocopy of your marriage license, so this is where that comes in, and any other documents, so like your letter of explanation would definitely be needed here. And yeah, so we're moving on to the second item in the list, and that's the visa office instructions. This always comes up. Basically this helps to guide you. It acts as a guide to ensure that you have the proper documents. So this is what it looks like. It says, in addition to a study permit, are you submitting applications for the following? So it acts as a guide, which is really good. So for example, for minor children, so if you're applying for a visa as opposed to a study permit, it all depends. This is a great guide. It tells you exactly what you need and what is required. So here we're seeing some check boxes as well. So original police certificates is a must. You must provide a police certificate from your country of residence if you have not done so in the previous 12 months. This is a must. Please don't forget it in your application. A letter of acceptance and academic or work documents, so like up-to-date transcripts, all your previous transcripts that you would have acquired is a must, and any current or previous employment letters if applicable. So if you're working now, yes, submit your job letter. Evidence of sufficient funds include recent original bank statements. If you're employed, please show a job letter that shows all these details here. If you own a business, submit a copy of your business license, as well as contracts that provide proof of income for the business, right? And basically, we have scholarships here, amongst other things, copies of birth certificates for minor children. So this is a really good guide that you can follow for your study permit. The next on the list is the application for a study permit form made outside of Canada. So we're going to get this form. And like I said, their files are encrypted. So most times you won't see anything here. We're going to do the same as before. We're going to download this document and we're going to call it application form. Hit save. So now we're going to open our document. Same steps, show in Finder, open with Adobe Reader, and let's wait for it to open. So this is your study permit form. This is what it looks like. If you haven't seen it already, this is what it looks like. You can hit validate, or you should rather hit validate when you're done filling out this form. If you have any question about any section here, please comment down below. I'll be sure to assist you with that. For example, what do they mean by marital status, stuff like that. I want you to note this part here that says funds available for my stay in Canadian dollars. The figure that you put here, it should match back with what your bank statement or statements are saying. It should be enough to cover for your tuition for the year, your living expenses for the year, and if you applied with any family member, it should cover their stay as well. Alright, I hope you're still with me. Let's go to the next form, which is the family information form. So we need to download our form and we need to rename it. Renaming is always a must so it doesn't get mixed up on your computer. And the same thing applies, you know. I hope so far this video is fine. It's being understood. So now we have our family information form. And basically this form is just filling out everything about us and our family members. Are we married? Are we, you know? And this is for the applicant. You'd put in your date of birth, your present occupation. So now you'd move on to your spouse or your common law partner and you do same. Will they accompany you to Canada? Of course, if you say yes, you need to account for them in your bank statements plus other documents you need to have. So next you would have like your mother, your father, your parent, and that means step parent or guardian, and you fill out those information. Now we have section B, which is children, and you fill out everything there accordingly to the headings of the columns, and you state if they're coming with you or no. You sign, same rules apply, and that's that. Alright, so now we're gonna look at the statutory declaration of common law form. And we're just going to go right ahead and download that. So this is the statutory declaration of common law union form. So we, applicant and applicant's spouse of such and such county of such and such in the country of Jamaica, solemnly declare that we have cohabited in conjugal relationship for such and such years. We have a jointly signed residential lease together, a property of residence together, or we have joint bank accounts, so forth. But please ensure at least one of these is ticked off and you have proof of evidence to show so. Down here, you do signings and it is witnessed by the justice of the peace. So basically, that's what you will need. You don't really need the custodian declaration, really. And you would need additional documents such as your letter of explanation, your bank statements, so forth. So now here we see visa application, photograph specifications, just to see what that is like. It shows you what your visa photo should look like. So of course, you want to ensure that your face is square to the camera and not in these positions as if it's a glamour shot. You're going to provide 2 photographs of yourself. And these are further specifications that you should note. Alright, so what's the cost to do or study permit? There's many ways you can find this out. Let's go on Google and type in cost to do a study permit for Canada. Let's see. So we see here a fee list, and you always want to ensure that it's from CIC. Their information is best to get. So now we're on the fee list page. Let's hit temporary residence, study permits, including extensions. And the cost for a study permit per person is 150 Canadian dollars. Now let's say you have to do your biometrics because you don't have one that's valid. The cost to do it is $85 per person, and that's in Canadian currency. If it's 2 or more people, $150, and as a group price, 3 or more, it's $255 Canadian dollar. What is the biometric? It's basically collecting fingerprints and a digital photo. It requires moving your documents between their office and the VAC where you gave your biometrics. If your children qualify as dependents and need to give their biometrics, you can pay the family fee. So that's basically it. This is the home page where you can find everything. This site has endless information. It's always updating. So that's a point to note. But hey, let's check something out. Alright, so I see here find a school designated learning institution. Remember, I've always spoke about this. So to apply for a study permit, you need an acceptance letter from a designated learning institution. And you need to also ensure that you're eligible for a post-graduation work permit. Not all DLIs make you eligible, so you need to check that. This is a way where we can check it. We can view the list by province or territory to find out if the school that we applied for is a DLI and can we work after. Let's try in Ontario. Let's look for Humber College. But before we do, if you notice here, these schools are all designated learning institutions with their numbers, but then do they offer postgraduate work permit? So far, no. So let's check for Humber College. So type in Humber. Yes, there is Umber College and it offers postgraduate work permits. Let's try Centennial. This is also in Ontario and they do offer postgraduate work permit. That's great. Let's try New Brunswick. So you see a mixture of no and yeses. So this is a great way to check. Alright, so that's it for this week, my step-by-step guide for you to apply for your Canadian student visa. Any further questions that you may have asked, if I went a little bit too fast and you're not understanding something, feel free to leave a comment with your question. I'll be sure to answer.